This time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove any hats and face the stars and stripes on the east wall of the gymnasium as we honor America this afternoon with the playing of our national anthem. And now to introduce the starters. First, the visitors from North Georgia. Starting in the guard position, a 5'8" senior from Watkinsville, Georgia, number 13, Ashley Hall. Starting in another guard position, a 5'7" freshman from Donaldsonville, Georgia, number 20, Avery Jones. Starting at the forward position, a 5'11" graduate student from Frankfort, Tennessee, number 21, Emily Trushell. Starting at another forward position, a 6'2" sophomore from Macon, Georgia, number 23, Kendall Amener. And starting at the final guard position, a 5'7" graduate student from Cumming, Georgia, number 24, Carolyn Barton. The Nighthawks are coached by Buffy Burson. She is assisted by Amber Stidgel and Julianne Sutton. And now to introduce the starting lineup for your Flagler College Saints. Starting at one guard position, a 5'8" junior from Augusta, Georgia, number 10, Jessica Downey. Starting at another guard position, a 5'10" senior from North Lauderdale, Florida, number 3, Sherelle McCormick.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right, we are both all good then.
Senior from Jacksonville, Florida, number 15, Sayla Reddick.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to St. Augustine, Florida. We're on the campus of Flagler College here at the Clark Family Court for today's Peach Belt action between the University of North Georgia and the home team, Flagler College Saints. The starters for Flagler College are being introduced right now behind us, and let's meet the starters for North Georgia here quickly. This is a very, very good North Georgia team. 17-1 on the year, 7-1 in the Peach Belt Conference, currently ranked 5th in the country. Starting lineup will be Ainsley Hall, Avery Jones, Emily Trushell, Kendall Amener, and Caroline Martin. Head coach is Buffy Burson. For the Saints, the starting lineup will have Sherelle McCormick, Jessica Dowdy, Sayla Reddick, Carly Grimm, and Abby Smith as the starters today. Saints are 8-9 overall, 4-4 in the Peach Belt. And Saints wearing the home white uniforms. The visitors from North Georgia, the Nighthawks, will be in the all dark uniforms, black with blue numbers trimmed in white. Here as the referees have the basketball and are going to make their way to the center circle here momentarily and be ready for the game to tip off. For the Saints, leading scorer is Sherelle McCormick at 14.1 points per game. Destiny McClendon is second at 12.6, but she is not in the starting lineup today. She's going to come off the bench and try to provide a spark for the Saints Marley Smith also going to come off the bench. She's at 9 points per game. So a little bit of a change here for the Saints. Jessica Dowdy is a typical starter. Sayla Reddick is not. She's usually the first guard off the bench. She's in the starting lineup today. Carly Grimm is the typical center, although she did not start the most recent game. But she is back in there, the 6'1 junior out of St. Clairsville, Ohio. And finally, the freshman Abby Smith makes her, I believe it's her first start of the year. Yeah, and the first start of her career, of course, as a true freshman. She's a 6-footer out of Bern, Texas, and she's been playing really good recently, averaging in double figures in the last 4 games coming off the bench, and she'll make a start for the Saints today. For North Georgia, very balanced scoring attack. Caroline Martin's at 16.6, Emily Trushell's at 15.2. There are 2 other players in double figures as well. So a balanced scoring attack, and they'll come at you from a lot of different directions today. We'll see how that matches up here for the Saints. The opening tap is in the air and deflected off the hand of Sherelle McCormick. Goes out of bounds, and so North Georgia will technically win the opening tap by getting the basketball first. And we're underway here in St. Augustine. Man-to-man defense by the Saints. I'm John Phillips along with Ivan Kelly, ready to bring you all the action here from beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. Drive off the left side, a nice dish at the last minute. The weak side help slid over to defend. That left Kendall Eminer wide open. The 6'2 sophomore knocks that one in uncontested. Saints take it inside, get it partially blocked. That was Sherelle McCormick, who turned the corner, but got it blocked from behind and must have a shot clock issue. They stopped the play here in the somewhat of a fast break opportunity here for North Georgia. Game clock's at 9:18. Shot clock still at 30, which is not where it should be because obviously this possession started. So possession error to the Saints. They fixed that on the score table. They changed the clock from 9:18 to 9:22. And the third and final correction is we need to get the shot clock to an appropriate number, probably about 27, maybe 26, something like that.
Yeah.
27, so sometimes you get lucky. And we'll get back to basketball. 2-0 here, just about 30 seconds in from St. Augustine. North Georgia scored first. They got the basketball again here coming front court. 4 out, 1 in as they work the perimeter. Work the right-hand side. Dribble drive in against Reddick. Floater is blocked. Nice defense by Sayla. Rebound to Carly Grimm. She'll push to Abby Smith on the left-hand side. Trail it to Dowdy. Open 3 ball. Off the front of the rim, no good, but Sherelle rebounds. McCormick backs down and kicks out to Reddick, who drives and drops back to Abby Smith. She'll eye the 3 ball. That's off the mark as well, and the Nighthawks rip down the rebound. Good defense by Sayla Reddick last possession. She is the best on-ball defender for the Saints, and showcasing that here in the early stages.
Flagler's putting a lot of pressure on defensively, trying to slow North Georgia's guards. They're very good drivers. They're very good
post feed
finding
inside.
each other.
Grimm tried to draw a charge, didn't get it, and Kendall Eminer knocks in her second field goal. She's got all 4. Here's Dowdy on a drive and drop here for Abby Smith, who turns with the left hand, runs it all the way cross court and rolls it up and in. So the left-hand runner by Abby Smith gets the Saints on the board. 4-2, North Georgia. They post feed again, deflected. McCormick gets the deflection. She ends up in the hands of Sayla Reddick, and Sayla tried to give it right back to her and threw it almost into the back of her head, quite honestly. Unfortunately, Sherelle never turned around and looked for the basketball. It whizzed right past her out of bounds, and the Saints turned it over.
Looks like both teams are trying to go a little up-tempo to start the game.
Runner off the left side for the Nighthawks, no good. Rebound to the Saints. Dangerous pass there from Dowdy to Reddick, but the Saints control it. Back to Dowdy up high. She'll drive the right-hand side. Gets in, kicks out for McCormick. Elbow jumper on the way. Rattles around, unlucky. Rebound ripped down by Caroline Martin. She's got a bunch of boards here in the early stages. So drive off the right side. Good move there by number 21. That's Emily Trushell. 6-2 Nighthawks.
They switched to a 2-3 zone.
Throw it into Carly Grimm. She's harassed from behind. She didn't know someone was behind her there. It was Trushell. She knocked it away. And we're going to get an unfortunate foul here against the Saints on Abby Smith. She was running up court, and I don't know if Martin knew she was behind her or just inadvertently kind of backed up a little bit, and Abby Smith got tripped up with her. And 5 for 5 subs here for the Saints. They're going to go line change. 5 new ball players check in. Aspen Weeks joined by Dane Bertolina. They'll bring Marley Smith, Lainey Norica, and my 5th here is Destiny McClendon. So 5 new players for the Saints.
And now we see why Mo Smith held out some of those starters, those usual starters, so that he could have this strategy and keep it up tempo.
Try to keep fresh legs out there at all times. There's Marley with it on the left side to Norica. Now McCormick drops it off here for Marley Smith. Shot clock at 9, still got time. Here's a drive from McClendon inside, and unlucky bounce that time. Rebound to the Nighthawks. North Georgia leads it by 6. Martin brings it front court. Saints still playing straight man. Long triple on the way. In and out, no good. Rebound to Bertolina for the Saints. They'll go 3-on-2 if they can hustle. McClendon goes all the way through, back out to Bertolina. 3-ball top of the circle. Left it short, and they'll go to the Nighthawks. Wide open look that time. McClendon dribbled all the way through the paint, couldn't get the shot off, which was a good decision. Took it to the far right baseline and trailed it back to Bertolina, but her shot was a little short and went out of bounds.
Flagler's getting good looks offensively, just haven't been able to knock them in yet.
Post feed, kick out. 3-ball for the Nighthawks, no good. Long rebound gonna go out of bounds, untouched, and it'll go to Flagler. Jasmine Major will check in for Bertolina. And Dane will get a seat right between Sydney Roberts and Joe Harding for some little coaching. Coaching staff picked up on something they want to go over with her. Saints are back to action here, trailing at 8-2. Norica at the top of the circle, looking for a helper. Finds McClendon, who goes drive, tries to dish it off back to the top of the circle and got it deflected and stolen away. The size and length of the Nighthawks is troublesome for the Saints right now. Go inside, Norica gets off her feet, shot is short. A late whistle and a foul. That's Kendall Eminer. Again, she's doing good work inside, good post feed, good footwork, and ultimately got fouled by Lainey Norica. Eminer, a 6'2 sophomore out of Macon. And she'll be at the free throw line when we come back. This takes us to our first media timeout. We are exactly midway through the first quarter here in St. Augustine. 5 minutes on the clock, and it's North Georgia 8 and the Saints 2. Having early observations, I think your point's valid. Saints are getting good looks, just can't seem to get anything to drop right now.
Yeah, you know, North Georgia's been a long power in women's basketball. And they're 17-1, but if you compare some scores, and that's always a questionable thing to do, but just recently, North Georgia beat Augusta by a point, and Flagler lost to Augusta by 2. So it's not like Flagler can't compete. Their up-tempo strategy seems to be working. If they could knock down some of those open jumpers, that would make
Saints right now are 1 out of 7. And as North Georgia's 4 out of 8.
So
one team's shooting 14%, and the other team's shooting 50%. That doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you why it's 8-2 right now. But I think you're to your bigger point, sometimes you're going to make shots, sometimes you're going to miss shots, but are you getting good shots? And the Saints up-tempo style has been working out pretty well so far. Just a little bit cold shooting the basketball right now, and we spoke about this in the pregame. The Saints have been trending down the last 6 games. 6 games ago, they shot 50%. The next game, they shot 43. The next game, they shot 40. The next game, they shot 37. The next game, they shot 35. And the most recent game, the Saints shot 30%. 6 consecutive games with a decreasing field goal percentage. Don't know if it's that mid-season doldrums when your legs get a little bit heavy, or the fact that they're back in classes now, or what it is. But Saints off to a slow start today. Just need to pick it up. They're getting good shots. It's just time, hopefully, for the home team to get a couple up the drop. First free throw from Eminer is no good. Second one is much better. She's 52% on the year and right about normal there. She went 1 for 2. Saints work the perimeter here. Back to the man-to-man defense. Major going to go drive inside, gets cut off over to Norika. Looking for Marley Smith, tries to post speed inside, got it deflected, and here come the Nighthawks. And there go the Nighthawks. Unfortunately, they throw it too far ahead, throw it out of bounds, and lose an opportunity. Ball back to the Saints, and here comes line change number 2. 5 out and 5 in. Looks like the same starting 5 will return for the Saints. McCormick, Dowdy, Reddick, Grimm, and Smith. And again, you got to be specific with the Saints. You got Marley Smith and Abby Smith. So this is Abby Smith's turn on the floor. And she's got the only 2 points of the day so far. For the Saints, at least. Here's Dowdy for Carly Grimm. Now McCormick. Swing it around Smith into McCormick. Backs down to a double team, shoots a turnaround, and gets that one to drop. Nice move there by Sherelle McCormick. Open player for North Georgia, ahead of the pack. Pull-up jumper is very short. It's an air ball, and the Saints will go ahead and almost going to let it go out of bounds, and decided Dowdy says, I'll just grab it. Drop it off for Selah Reddick. Now Abby Smith, again, 4 out, 1 in, a little weave interchange. McCormick's drive, and she got bumped. Looks like that one's going to go on Livy Blackstock, senior out of Jefferson, Georgia.
Fouls on number 15, Livy Blackstock.
That North Georgia area is a tremendous area for women's basketball. High school girls basketball is tremendous. You know, you look at their roster, North Georgia only has 1 player from out of state, and she's from Nashville.
Yep.
So they got good players, and they're able to keep them at home.
McCormick knocks down the free throw. Yeah, you don't have to spend a lot of recruiting dollars traveling if you get almost every player from the state of Georgia. 9-6, closest the Saints have been. Oh, we're going to get a foul on Selah Reddick there.
I remember Dana Kirk at Memphis State. He used to say, if I got to use more than a tank of gas, I don't want to recruit the kid. There was enough good players in the Memphis area to get a team.
There's a lot of places around the country like that, and of course, where I grew up in the DMV, the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, we did the same thing. There's another foul on Selah Reddick. She's going to have to be careful now. She got 1 in the backcourt, she got 1 in the front court, so 2 fouls in the last 10 seconds for Reddick. And again, she's our best on-ball defender, and Coach Mo is going to give her a short rest here. 2 fouls in the first quarter, and they'll get Jasmine Major back in there to take her spot.
What Martin did on that drive is pretty typical for some of the North Georgia players. Their layup is really kind of a scoop coming up from underneath. They never raise the ball up like the shoulder level or above their head where it can get blocked, and they kind of shoot it under, which makes the defender more likely to chop down and foul.
Exactly right. It's physics. If you're and you can't see this on the radio, obviously. If you're reaching up or you're swiping down, and when you swipe down, that's when you get in trouble. And an errant pass there. Dowdy got confused with Jasmine Major. Major cut to the basket. Dowdy thought she was going to pop out. Saints turn it over. 10-6 as North Georgia is going to return the favor, I think. Yep, that's going to be over and back. Errant pass by the Nighthawks. Just a little bit off target. Went into the backcourt. Untouched by one of the Saints. So it's an over and back violation. And ball to Flagler. 10-6 at the 3:17 mark.
A lot of unforced mistakes for a team that's number 5 in the country.
Major on the drive and kick. Out here to Abby Smith. 3-point attempt on the way. Off the mark, but Dowdy there to rebound. Dowdy drops it over to Abby and misses the mark, but McCormick able to chase it down. And she is bumped on the perimeter here by Avery Jones. Non-shooting foul. That's just 2 on the Nighthawks. So we'll have it there on the sideline. Nighthawks go to the bench, get Carly Fahey into the game.
Flagler's only down 4, so they're staying in contact with him. They're staying in touch.
There's a deflection by
Almost
the
a
Nighthawks
great
and a steal. Saints almost stole it back. And not sure what the stoppage was. Shot clock again?
Another shot clock. That's Flagler's great defense today to stop this fast break.
Well, they got 30 on the shot clock, which can't be possible, so. .26, there we go. And we'll get back to basketball. It's that challenging time of year for the sports information and game day management staff. Multiple sports being contested here as the NCAA's version of what I call spring has started. Nice move off the right side for a runner that's no good by the Nighthawks, but they do get their own rebound. Open three-point attempt on the way is very short, and the Saints will corral it. Jasmine Major rips it down, and she'll push front court quickly. Off to Dowdy. Gets cut off on her drive. Back to Major, who's cut off as well. Over to Dowdy. She'll shoot a 3, and they call her for a travel. As I was talking about with the spring season, Flagler's hosting a baseball doubleheader today against Alabama Huntsville. Softball is hosting a doubleheader today against Embry-Riddle. Men's lacrosse is playing later tonight at home against Embry-Riddle. Tennis played this morning. Track's competing on the road. And women's lacrosse is on the road today as well. So the staff is spread thin. And not trying to make excuses for why there have been 2 errors with the shot clock. But again, staff is spread thin. That's all I can say. There's a drop inside and then a kick out. Post feed is deflected. Good defense by the Saints. Still struggling to score the basketball, but nobody can complain about the defense. And Dowdy got wide and got too wide, put 1 foot on the sideline and turned it over. Again, another unforced error.
She took that negative step when she started her drive and dropped that right foot, just touched the sideline. And
that's all it took. Saints will go to the bench, get Aspen Weeks back in the ball game. Nighthawks work it around the horn. Ainsley Hall drops it off. Good move inside for a floater that can't go in, and Nighthawks rebound, get it blocked, but they'll call a foul. I think they're going to get it on Carly Grimm. We'll wait for the official signal to make sure.
Fouls on number 21.
Yeah, 21, Carly Grimm.
Stepping to the foul line for the Nighthawks is number 23, Kendall Amener. She'll shoot 2.
Eminer's first free throw is good. He's got 1 more coming. And off the mark on that one again, 1 for 2. 11-6 in favor of North Georgia. Drive to the elbow for the Saints, shot off the mark. Carly Grimm rips down the rebound, goes up strong with the left hand. Nice job there by Grimm. Get her first bucket of the day. Martin drive off the right side. Got a half a step. That's all she needed to get past Jasmine Major. Once she turned the corner and got her on her hip, she was uncontested.
There's a battle in the low post.
Into Grimm for a turnaround, and friendly roll for Carly Grimm. Takes it back to a 3-point game. 13-10, Saints are battling right now.
Step back move by Carly Grimm. Got the space that she allowed her to get the shot off.
There's a nice move behind the back by Martin. There's that scoop,
There's a scoop
like you talked about.
A scoop and a chop.
Got it to work.
Fouls on number 0, Aspen Weeks. Making her way to the foul line for the Nighthawks is number
20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 13-10 North Georgia pending the free throws. Caroline Martin, their leading scorer, 16.6 points. Also 5.7 rebounds per game. She does a great job in a lot of areas, and she's a pretty darn good free throw shooter at 77%. She's also 38% from three. So dangerous weapon out there, and a graduate transfer, or graduate student, I should say. Not transfer, but graduate student. And knocks home her first free throw. One more coming.
In conference play, their starters are probably averaging about 90% from the free throw line.
They'll go to the bench and get Avery Jones out for Carly Fahey. Final possession for the Saints if they choose to be patient. Down 5 with the basketball. Bertolina for Abby Smith. Now McCormick. Out between the circles with a Grimm screen. Backs down, pump fake. Can't get the roll. Rebound picked up by Martin. And not enough time to do anything with it. And that'll conclude our first quarter here in St. Augustine. Saints are hanging in there and battling. But they find themselves down 5. 15-10 in favor of North Georgia. Nighthawks 15, Saints 10. Back right after this from St. Augustine here on the Peach Belt Digital Network.
South State Bank, welcome to Banking Forward. And Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Let me direct your attention to center court, where we have the dance team.
Couple of updates to pass along in other sports that are not women's basketball. As I mentioned earlier, both the Flagler baseball team and the Flagler softball teams are in action, both hosting doubleheaders here in St. Augustine. The Flagler baseball team is winning 4-1 in the top of the 4th inning. That game started at 1 o'clock. And the softball field game also started at 1 o'clock. The Saints are on the opposite end there. The Saints are trailing 4-0. So Embry-Riddle 4, Flagler nothing in softball, and Flagler 4 and Alabama Huntsville 1 in baseball. 15-10 our score here in the basketball arena. Saints 4 of 13, Nighthawks 5 of 13, and big difference being North Georgia's had 8 free throw attempts. The Saints only have 2.
If you're Coach Mo Smith, you got to be happy with the first quarter.
Jumper up and good from Jasmine Major. Makes it a 1-possession game.
They're hanging in blow for blow with the number 5 team in the country.
They throw the lob inside, and they get Carly Grimm for a foul from behind. I'm not saying there wasn't contact on that, but that's one of those fouls where I don't know that it really impacted the play.
Carly's given up such size. I would not think that little bit of contact affected play much.
Yeah,
but
Kendall Eminer is an outstanding player. They threw the post feed to her. She caught it with no issues. There was a little bit of a bump, but sometimes in order to let the game go on. Eminer, deflection by Bertolina, but the Nighthawks chase it down. They come drive in against Dane. Drop it off here. Nicely done. Good ball movement as they work it around for Jayla Storr.
Jayla Storr with a layup for the Nighthawks.
Abby Smith goes inside for a runner, and late whistle, but a foul is called. She'll have a chance to go to the free throw line, and I misspoke when I said
Fouls on number 13.
I called her. It's Jalea. Jalea Storr.
For the Saints is number 25.
Either way, she got 2 points at the other end of the court. Nicely done on a really well-designed play. Abby Smith at the free throw line knocks off the first. She's got one more coming. 17-13 pending the free throw. Could make it a one-possession game.
Abby got rewarded on the strong drive. 4 North Georgia players collapsed on her. From this distance, I didn't see contact, but I could easily see how that could happen.
17-14. Nighthawks into the high post. Back out here to Jones, working against Dane Bertolina.
Good on the ball defense by Dane.
Almost got a 5-second call. Instead, she kicks it out, finds a teammate to reset it. She'll step back and shoot a 3. That one's too strong, off the heel, no good. And we're going to get a foul on North Georgia this time. I thought it was a good box out by Abby Smith. The referee agreed. And it was a rebounding foul called on number 21, Emily Trussell. Trussell is the one player not from Georgia. Brentwood, Tennessee, transfer from USC Aiken. Saints basketball, 8:44 to go, second quarter. Bertolina with Major in the backcourt, along with McCormick, Abby Smith, and McClendon. There's Abby at the top of the circle. Left-hand side over to McClendon. And a little bit of a hand check there called against North Georgia. I think it's on 21. Yep, that's Emily Trussell. That's her second personal. They'll get her checked out and get their outstanding big in Kendall Eminer back in the ball game.
When you switch as much as they do defensively, that's the risk.
Three-pointer for the Saints is good, and we're tied at 17. First triple for the Saints today, ties us up with 8:13 to go, second quarter. Major working here against Martin. Working around the perimeter. Again, that 4 out, 1 in, looking for the post speed. They do on the left-hand side. Backs in against Abby Smith and kicks out for an open 3 ball. It's off the heel of the rim, no good, but a rebound to the Nighthawks. They repost back inside for a turnaround and get the soft roll in there from Eminer. Jumper for the Saints, off the mark, no good. Rebound to North Georgia. That's Martin once again. She rebounds and races. Finds a teammate inside. That was Storr. Now they throw it inside to Eminer for a turnaround and left it short. Good defense by Abby Smith. Bertolina's got it. She goes off to McClendon. Into Abby Smith. Up, under, and too strong that time. I think she might have anticipated some contact coming and never got it.
I'm sure she'd like that shot back.
Could have tied us up at 19. Instead, Nighthawks lead it by 2. 6:52 to go. Good game so far. Really well played. Fight through the screen and fought through the screen a little too hard. Get the foul called on the Saints, Destiny McClendon. Her first personal. Non-shooting foul as she fought through the screen from Eminer.
I think it just was a surprise that Eminer wasn't down there on the block fighting. She came up to set a screen at the high post. And
yeah, she's been down low all day. Try to ball reversal and get it inside to Eminer, and they do. And then she tries to kick it out and kicked it a little too far. Threw it into the third row. So the Saints get it back on a turnover. Have a chance to tie it up or maybe even take the lead if they can hit a three-pointer. A couple late subs here for the Saints. McCormick out for Aspen Weeks. And Jessica Dowdy's going to get in there here next. McClendon for Abby Smith. She'll drive off the left side and a little too strong. Another rebound for the Nighthawks. Pushing inside underneath to Martin. Kicks it out to Storr. Post feed into Eminer. And kick far side. Drive inside, ball deflected, loose on the floor, and we're going to end up with a held ball. Possession arrow stays with North Georgia. They will keep the 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And the Saints will get Jessica Dowdy back in there, and the Nighthawks get Livy Blackstock back as well. And it's North Georgia ball here. There we go. Shot clock should have been 12. They put it to 20, and that helped the Saints actually. Should be 12.
The shot clock operator's getting the 6th man award today.
Yeah, when there's a held ball on the offensive end, you retain whatever you had left. And 12 was what they had left. So look to trigger again. In here to Martin. Out for an open three on the right-hand wing. It's no good. Abby Smith with a strong rebound. Good box out. Here come the Saints. Drive all the way in. Floater up. Basket and one opportunity. Destiny McClendon has tied it up at 19, and she's got a free throw pending. A very partisan Saints crowd on hand today. Saints have the first opportunity to take the lead today.
Gets Coach Buffy Burson off the bench for North Georgia to have a conversation with the referees.
Free throw is good. 20-19 Saints at the 5:39 mark. Saints have a little more pep in their step here on the defensive end. They go to that straight man-to-man. Here's Martin, turns the corner. Throws up a floater that's no good, and they're going to get a blocking foul called on the Saints on Jasmine Major.
Fouls on number 1, Jasmine Major.
Yeah, Nighthawks do a really good job with that kind of a three-man weave there, just working the ball back and forth, and then instead of staying out on the perimeter, somebody gets the ball and turns the corner. And if you're not ready for them to turn the corner, they'll get past you. And that's exactly what Caroline Martin did. First free throw is good, so we're back tied at 20. And she makes them both. Nighthawks reclaim the lead. 21-20, North Georgia. 5:26 to go second quarter. Almost midway through the second quarter here in St. Augustine. Beautiful early spring day. Temperature probably in the mid-70s when we came into the gym earlier. Saints going to go drive off the right side, and unlucky that time. Wanted to go drive and kick, and Aspen Weeks kind of jumped in air to make the pass and came down before she made the pass, and so she's called for a travel. Work the perimeter around to the right-hand side. Drive in and return the favor with the travel. Ainsley Hall jumped in the air to make the pass as well and came down before she passed the basketball. And the ball will go right back to the Saints.
It's great position defense by Flagler to cut off that passing lane. And she was stuck in the air with no place to throw it.
Well, that's exactly what happened in the first quarter. We got literally to the 5-minute mark. And that got us a media timeout in the first quarter, and we're right at the 5-minute mark again. That got us a media timeout here. It's 21-20. North Georgia leads it over the Saints by 1 point. Those two free throws from Caroline Martin are the difference right now. And Saints field goal percentage has picked up a little bit. They're 7 for 19. North Georgia is also exactly 7 for 19. And the difference right now, the Saints have made a three-pointer. They're 1 for 5. North Georgia has not, but North Georgia has made 7 free throws out of 10 attempts The Saints only have 5 attempts. They have made all 5. But that's the difference right there. 7 free throws made versus 5. The Saints do have 1 3-pointer. And it's a 1-point game, about as close as it could be. 5 minutes to play here, second quarter. And North Georgia has led for the majority of the ball game. Saints led 20-19, but that didn't last but about 20 seconds or so. And this one is shaping up to be a good one here in the latter stages of the second quarter.
Both teams use 38% of their possessions. They become 3-point attempts. So it's not like one team is really looking for the 3 more than the other. We've just have made one.
Yeah. North Georgia on the year is 37% from 3, while the Saints are 26%. But so far today, Flagler's the only team with a 3-pointer. Here's McCormick. Drops it off for a drive off the left side, and the runner is good for Jasmine Major. Nice diagonal cut. Here comes the basketball quickly to the front court. Penetrate in and kick it out. Now they're going to drive off the left side, past Bertolina. Shot no good. Abby Smith after the rebound. Bertolina ends up with it. Comes over here to Dowdy in the left-hand wing. Dowdy to Major. For Abby Smith. Pump fake from 3. Passes it up. Major will not pass it up, and she's off the mark, unfortunately, and North Georgia rips down the rebound. Avery Jones with it out high. Looks for Martin. And back to Hall. Hall over to Fahey and back the other way. Looking for the post feed. Get it in there. And kick it cross court, and Bertolina steps in and steals it away. Danes coming front court, and she got her pocket picked at the midcourt line. And an easy layup there for Avery Jones.
Number 20, Avery Jones.
Reclaims a 23-22 lead. Saints work the perimeter here. Abby Smith, top of the circle. For McCormick to shoot a triple. It's good. Sherelle McCormick gives the Saints their biggest lead of the game. A 2-point cushion, 25-23. Dowdy with a steal. Coast to coast for a runner, pump fake, and lays it in. Saints by 4, 27-23. And we have a timeout on the floor. Timeout taken by Coach Buffy Burson as the Saints have a 4-point advantage, their biggest lead of the day. A pick 6 for Jessica Dowdy. She anticipated the pass coming. It was a little bit later than it should have been. Didn't have quite enough on it. She stole it and went to the other end and laid it through, and that's where we are right now for the Saints.
And she made a great decision at the end of that play. She could have gone up with an off-balance layup attempt, but she saw where the defender was, planted her feet, gave a good pump fake, and went up strong and under control.
I think that's Dowdy's first basket of the day. Yes, it is, yeah. Leading scorer for the Saints is Sherelle McCormick with 7. For North Georgia, the leader is Eminer, who has 10. She's the only player on either team with double figures. Martin's got 7 points and 7 rebounds. Pretty typical for Caroline Martin. She is an outstanding player. Sometimes they call those people, she's a stat stuffer.
Flagler picks up full court. Let's see if they come back to trap. No, they're going to stay in the man.
High ball screen, they'll fight through it. Post feed inside to Eminer against Marley Smith. Repost at the high post. She'll turn and face. Drop it off, set a screen. Well executed play there for North Georgia. Ended up being a 2-man game with Trussell. Dowdy's going to go coast to coast. Back to Marley Smith. Very dangerous pass there by Marley Smith. Tried to force something in there when it wasn't there. There was a backdoor cutter in McClendon. Just wasn't enough room to really do anything. Saints turn it over. Bertolina working against Martin. They'll go to Eminer at the high post. Back inside for a floater. And they get a foul called on Sherelle McCormick. That's her first, but it will be a shooting foul. That'll give Emily Trussell a chance to shoot some free throws. She's an outstanding free throw shooter at 89%, and she will shoot 2.
There's a size mismatch there. Sherelle bodied up to her to try to keep her out of the paint, but it was a little too much.
Trussell hits the first, and with the second, if it can go, she'll tie it up. Leaves it short, and the Saints rebound it. Catch a break that time with an 89% free throw shooter. Saints will cling to that 1-point lead. Here's Bertolina on the drive left for Dowdy. Now McCormick finds some space, attacks against a double team, and scores it inside.
A spectacular drive.
That was brilliant with that many players collapsing. There's a drive inside, poked away by Dowdy. She'll get the steal. She pushes the other direction, back to McCormick. Inside to Marley Smith into a double team and gets her shot blocked once, then twice, and then the ball's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Nighthawks. It'll stay with Flagler.
Coach Mo Smith looking for the foul down there.
Was a lot of contact. 1:39 on the game clock, 17 on the shot clock here. Saints lead it by 3 and have it off to the left-hand side. Bertolina triggers to McClendon. Now McCormick.
They go to the
down
zone.
And kicks to Dowdy. She'll go up and hang in midair and couldn't finish it, but did get fouled. Foul's going to go on 10.
No, it's called offensive foul.
Oh, gosh. I'm not sure what Dowdy did to warrant an offensive foul. I didn't see her run into anybody for a charge. But ball goes to the Nighthawks, 29-26. Final 90 seconds here in the first half. Martin inside, kicks it out to the top of the circle, and they drive off the left side. No space there. Back to Martin. Post feed into Eminer. And strong move to the left, banks it home. Makes it a 1-point game. Saints step into a 3. It's good. McCormick, her second triple of the afternoon, makes it a 4-point game in the final minute.
A great pass. Got it to her right in rhythm.
Nighthawks drive off the left side, kick it all the way cross court for a 3 of their own. That's going to be short, gets her own rebound, steps through underneath. Nice move there by Avery Jones. Saints race it front court. Pull-up jumper on the way. It's an air ball, rebound to the Nighthawks. It's a 2-point game in the final 30 seconds. Shot clock and game clock about a second and a half differential. Screen going to be set here by Eminer. Bertolina is going to have to decide to go under it or around it. They attack the left side for a floater that's no good. Abby Smith rebounds. Out to McCormick. She'll push across the midcourt line, put it up, and almost got it to go from about 38 feet. But instead, the Saints will cling to a 2-point lead here at the end of the first 20 minutes. It's Flagler 32 and North Georgia 30. Looking at the stats, the Saints have really picked it up, shooting 44%, 12 of 27, including 3 out of 8 from long distance. North Georgia 11 for 26, not bad at 42%. However, they are 0 for 7 from three-point area, and both teams getting some free throws. North Georgia 8 for 12 for 67%. Saints are a perfect 5 for 5. And it's a good battle here in St. Augustine right now. Flagler 32, North Georgia 30. We'll take a timeout. We're at the half in St. Augustine here on the Peach Belt Digital Network. About a minute left here at our halftime entertainment. Flagler College Pep Band providing some sounds for the fans here in St. Augustine. This has been a good one so far. 32-30, relatively low scoring game so far, but a competitive game. Saints come in averaging 70. North Georgia comes in averaging 78. And right now both teams on pace to score somewhere in the 60s, but a lot can change here in the final 20 minutes.
How about that Saints Pep Band?
Saints 32, Nighthawks 30.
Game this afternoon.
Of course, teams will switch ends here in the second half. Saints will shoot in front of their bench, which is on the west end of the gymnasium. Possession arrow favors North Georgia, so they'll get the basketball first to start the second half.
In the second quarter, when Flagler got its lead, they did it by running the floor and pushing the ball. So I expect them to keep doing that. And even though I think North Georgia is more of a guard-oriented team, I think this is going to be decided with their low post play and their big players down on the blocks.
Yeah, their big Kendall Eminer has been a really difference maker so far. And again, we got another shot clock issue. Game clock's to 9:56, which is 4 seconds, and the shot clock's at 29, which is only 1 second. So one of those two things is wrong. So we'll try to get that fixed. Shot clock to 26, and we're ready to go again. So we'll do it all over again from the same spot, just 4 seconds off the clock. Ainsley Hall with it, and off to Trussell. They work the perimeter. Again, that 4 out, 1 in, with Eminer being the big inside.
And she is just down there like a lion, ready to duck in hard into the paint.
Yeah, there's the post feed to her. She'll kick cross court. Shot clock down to 6. Spray it off left-hand side for a three-point attempt, and it's good. Their first triple of the game, and it comes from Ainsley Hall. Saints try to answer right back, and they do. McCormick scores only a 2-pointer, so not quite the answer the Saints need. And here's a drive from Martin inside, and they'll get Carly Grimm on the reach in. Ainsley Hall is their best three-point shooter percentage-wise. She's 45% on the year, and she knocks home their first triple, which was a big bucket for the Nighthawks, and they have a chance to tie it up or maybe take the lead if they can hit both free throws. Friendly roll for Caroline Martin, and she's got one more coming. And that's the difference maker right there. 35-34. North Georgia reclaims a 1-point lead here at the 9:10 mark, third quarter. They'll jump into their man. McCormick.
They jumped into their zone.
For Dowdy, and they are, you're exactly right, they are in the zone, and pick off the pass and race the other direction. And turn it over. Pass a little bit off the mark there, trying to kick it to the right-hand wing, and the Saints will get it back. Yeah, they disguised that zone on me. They acted like they were going to go man, and then when the ball got into the front court, everybody stayed home. They'll do the same thing here. McCormick's going to drive inside, gets the ball poked away, and last touched by the Nighthawks. They'll stay with the Saints with 18 on the shot clock. Sherrill's got space to attack that zone. They're playing, the gaps are pretty wide right now. Look for Dowdy, can't find her. Into Abby Smith, and she'll catch and finish.
Great duck in by Abby Smith.
Duck in off the right side, and she kisses it off the window and through. Saints reclaim the 36-35 lead. Here comes Martin inside against Dowdy. Drops it off, and then back out here to Hall. Turn the corner inside for a runner, and they got the corner past Abby Smith, and the layup there by Emily Trussell. Dowdy a step back three. Off the heel of the rim, no good. Long rebound. Picked up in the corner by Martin, but then stolen back by Carly Grimm. Grimm's going to attack on the dribble, shoot a fadeaway. Maybe not the best shot there, and we got a held ball between Abby Smith and I believe that's Trushell. Possession arrow will favor the Saints, so they will keep it here in the front court. They'll keep the 26. Grimm with a good rebound, but she dribbled from left to right and was really fading away when she took that shot. Saints are fortunate to get the held ball. Look for that same duck in again, can't find it, go out to Carly Grimm on the perimeter. Drive inside, and we're going to get a blocking foul called on the Nighthawks. Tried to take a charge there. Referee says, nope, a little too much acting. There wasn't enough contact, and Ainsley Hall's going to get called for the foul. Non-shooting, so it'll be Saints ball. Should get a partial reset to 20 and have it underneath. North Georgia leads it by 1, but the Saints have the ball front court. Into Abby Smith. Drives and can't finish. Got it partially blocked. And she had two hands on the basketball, but her back was on the baseline. So the ball will go to the Nighthawks. Hall brings it up against McCormick and drops for Trushell. The drive off the right side, blocked inside. Oh, gonna get a foul on Selah Reddick. So Avery Jones going to be our free throw shooter. Saints will go to the bench for Dane Bertolina and Jasmine Major. Avery Jones, our free throw shooter, 79% on the season. And Saints one more sub here. Mack for Mack. Matt Clendon in for Matt Cormick. 7:26 to go, third quarter, 37-36. North Georgia by 1, pending free throws. North Georgia by 2 after Jones knocks home the first. 23 for 29 on the year. And 2 for 2. So Nighthawks by 3 at the 7:26 mark. Bertolina for Abby Smith. Now McClendon. High post Grimm. Back to Grimm, top of the circle. Three-point attempt from the left-hand side. Off the mark, rebound Martin picked up. That was Jasmine Major who couldn't convert. Nighthawks race quickly front court. Post feed into Eminer. Shoots it over top of Grimm. Off the mark, no good. Rebound Bertolina. Saints looking to get back in this one with a bucket here. Drive inside and a reach-in foul. We go on 21, Emily Trushell. Open look from the corner. Off the mark, and Bertolina's over the back. Trying to reach in and create a held ball situation, but she got the Nighthawk player across the arm. Both teams picking up fouls here in the second half. No one's in the bonus yet, but they're trending that way. Post feed inside Eminer, and she'll score it easily. She had good position that time and finished with the left hand. Bertolina for Abby Smith. Into Grimm. Attack the baseline, couldn't get it to roll. Martin rips down the rebound. And they're going to get a bump called against Jasmine Major. That's 4 on Flagler, so 6:07 to go third quarter. Next foul on the Saints will automatically be 2 shots the rest of the way in this quarter for the Nighthawks, and they are a good free throw shooting team. It is not a team you want to give free buckets to. They shoot 76% overall as a team.
And Flagler picks up full court, which which is a risky move considering the foul situation.
There's a post feed into Eminer. Backs down against Abby Smith and rattles it home. It's up to a 7-point lead here for North Georgia. Skip pass picked off. Here come the Nighthawks the other way. They skip it themselves. Back to Martin. Post feed inside, and there's a foul on Abby Smith going over the back trying to defend Eminer inside.
Surprised Mo Smith didn't call a timeout after that last basket.
Fouls on number 25, Abby Smith.
That's 5, so now we're shooting free throws with 5:37 to go.
Stepping to the foul line for the Nighthawks.
And you're starting to lose contact with North Georgia.
Yeah, it's 13-4 here in the third quarter. 2-point lead has become a 7-point deficit. And now it's an 8-point deficit with the first free throw in. One more coming. Saints are going to go to the bench for Lainey Norika. And they blew the horn for her to come in, but she must have gotten there too late. So they'll tell her to hold tight. And now she'll get in once the free throw is converted. Abby Smith will get out, Norika will get in. Nighthawks will counter. They will get Ava McLaughlin, see her first action of the day, and give Kendall Eminer a rest. McLaughlin, a 6'1" sophomore from Cumming, Georgia. It's a 9-point game right now in favor of the Nighthawks. Saints need a bucket here. Norika harassed and fouled by McLaughlin. It's the third foul on the Nighthawks here in the third quarter. So one more to give before the Saints will move into the bonus. And shot clock issue. Shot clock's on 20. So they put it to 17. I guess it never got started. So 5:21 to go third quarter. 17 on the shot clock. 45-36. All North Georgia here in the third quarter so far. Drive off the left side and bucket for Jasmine Major. That was big. Saints needed a basket right there to get a little confidence. Try to chip away at this deficit that's turned into a 7-point margin for North Georgia. Drive off the right side, no good. Rebound picked up by McCormick. She'll push the other direction. She's got 2 3-pointers. She'll trail it back this time. And a floater on the way is no good by Jasmine Major, but she is fouled, I believe, by Caroline Martin.
Foul is on number 24, Caroline.
It is on Martin. That's her second. And we'll shoot the free throws after the media timeout. So we're midway through the third quarter. It's 45-38. North Georgia by 7. 4:53 to go third quarter. We'll be right back here on the Peach Belt Digital Network.
Local pitmasters since 68. They don't just serve barbecue, they are barbecue. Spartan Orthopedic Institute, sports medicine and robotic surgery. And St. Augustine Marina for all your boating and fishing needs.
Difference here in the third quarter really comes down to the free throw line. 6 for 6 for North Georgia. Saints have not attempted a free throw as of yet, but that's going to change here momentarily. Saints are 3 out of 9 from the field in the third quarter. North Georgia 4 for 6. So it's 15-6, the scoring here in the third quarter for the Nighthawks. Saints have a chance to add a couple points here at the free throw line. First from Major is good. Jasmine 7 points per game on the year. She's got a boat. So back to a 5-point game. North Georgia gets Heminer back into the ball game. She got a little bit of a rest, and she's been the difference maker so far. She's got 18 points to lead all scorers.
Flagler just got a break on that inbounds pass. They're pressuring the ball full court, and there was 4 Flagler players running up to defend only 3 North Georgia players, and there were 2 players from North Georgia way at the other end of the court. If they'd seen them, they would have had an easy layup, but Saints got a break.
Bertolina going to put up a 3-ball far side. No good. Rebound picked up by the Saints, and Jasmine Major had an uncontested layup in there and couldn't convert it. They got the ball knocked out by the Nighthawks. It'll stay with the Saints. And substitution here for North Georgia. Jalea Storr will check back in. Bertolina will trigger. 20 on the shot clock. 4:14 in the third quarter is the game clock. And deflected on the inbounds pass. Saints were trying to free up Destiny McClendon in the left-hand corner, but it was slapped out of bounds. Try it again. Slapped out of bounds again.
I tried different out-of-bounds play at this
I
point.
might try something different this time. I think they know what's coming.
The 2 girls are laughing about it.
Go to McCormick here on the right side. Bounce pass cross court. Bertolina, man flies by, drives through, kicks it top of the circle. 3-ball off the mark. Unlucky. Good look that time for the Saints. Rebound to the Nighthawks. And we're going to get a foul on Dane Bertolina here. I'm not sure I agree with the call, but it's a good move by Ainsley Hall. She had Bertolina kind of on her hip and just kept dribbling and almost backing up into her and creating the contact. Referees do call the contact, and then a 2-shot situation, which we're in because the Saints have already committed 5 fouls. You get two freebies right here.
When I was coaching at Auburn, we lost the game at Tennessee that very way. It was almost comical. Our player's trying to run away from, he's on defense, he's trying to run away from the ball. And the guy with the ball just trying to drive right into him.
That's what Bertolina said. And she looked right at the referee. What am I doing? I'm trying to get out of the way. Saints dribble into a double team. They kick it out to Bertolina. Major pull-up jumper from 15 is good. Back to a 5-point game, and Coach Mo wants to take a timeout. See if the Saints can try to chip away here. This game is still very much in play at 5 points, but momentum has certainly shifted to the North Georgia side of things here. 47-42, North Georgia leads it by 5 with 3:45 to go third quarter. And Saints led by 2 at the half, but it's been almost all Nighthawks here in the second half. They have outscored Flagler by a score of 17-10 and have a 5-point lead.
Major's really been a spark plug for Flagler in this third quarter. Pushing the ball, driving inside.
Each team has 4 field goals in the third quarter. Unfortunately for the Saints, they're 4 for 13, whereas North Georgia is 4 for 6. And the big difference is 8 of 8 from the free throw line for North Georgia, and the Saints 2 for 2. But those 6 free throws really are basically the difference. It's a 5-point game. Saints have been called for quite a few fouls. 6 fouls committed by the Saints here in the third quarter.
We talked going into the game that North Georgia is not a team that will beat itself. So they're getting free throw opportunities. They're knocking them down. They're not fouling. And they've got a 5-point lead.
Hall post feed in. And wow, that was a foul. looked,
on number 11, Lainey Norica.
looked to me like Eminer lost her footing and just tripped.
I thought she lost her balance. I think her shoelace fouled her.
For the Nighthawks is number 23, Kendall Minner.
She misses the first free throw. Home team faithful are not happy with the call there. Didn't look like there was much contact, just a stumble.
And they're yelling, "Ball don't lie."
Yeah, ball don't lie, because she missed both free throws. So the Saints come front court with the basketball. No harm by that foul call. McCormick a step back three. That's way too strong. Norica had the rebound, then lost it. And then she got knocked to the floor, and maybe this is going to be a foul on North Georgia. Looks like it will be.
Fouls on number 21, Emily Trushell.
Foul on Trushell will give Lainey Norica a chance to shoot some free throws.
She'll shoot 2.
Norica hasn't taken a lot of free throws this year. Only 16 attempts on the year. 11 of 16 for 69%. She misses the first. She does convert the second, so it's a 4-point game with 3 minutes to go, third quarter. 47-43. North Georgia by 4. Work the perimeter, and then get an
offensive foul at the low post.
Yeah. Eminer trying to post up and posted too hard and knocked Norica to her backside there. So the foul against the Nighthawks will give the ball to the Saints. Of course, an offensive foul does not give you 2 free throws, even though they are over the limit. But the Saints, most importantly, will get the basketball.
She uses an elbow, not illegally, but just posting up. But this last possession, she hooked her pretty good and threw her to the ground.
Free ball from the Saints on the way. And we're going to get they're going to call are they calling a flop? Or the signal she gave was the flop. Referees are going to get together and talk it over. There was a 3-point attempt from Destiny McClendon. Was she fouled, or did she get called for the flop? The referee on the near side gave the flop signal. The referee on the far side looked like she was calling a foul on the shot.
And both coaches are walking the sidelines with their hands on their hips and shaking their heads. And they want to know what the answer is to this mystery as well.
Looks like it's going to be a flop because we're going to the other end of the floor. Saints went to the free throw line thinking they had earned 3 free throws. Instead, because of the flopping call, it is going to be 1 free throw. I believe it's only 1. We'll find out here in a second.
The foul line for the Nighthawks is number 21, Emily Trushell.
Trushell will be the free throw shooter. And 1 more free throw coming for the flopping violation. She makes 1 of 2. And now the ball will go to North Georgia. So 1 point for the Nighthawks on the flopping violation and the basketball back. 48-43, 2:51 to go. When you fall to the ground and flop or fake like you were fouled, it's a recent rule change a couple years back. Used to be you got a flopping warning, and then a year or so later they said, nope, we're going to go straight to essentially a technical foul. So 2 shots and the ball here for the Nighthawks.
Boy, would soccer ever survive if they had that rule?
Oh, we'd never play. Drive off the left side, open space, shot no good, rebound Norica. Saints trying to push the tempo. Jasmine's got it, trails it back to McClendon. She's going to drive down the paint and kick to Abby Smith for 3. It's good.
Great driving kick.
Perfectly done. Smith knocks down the triple, 48-46. It's a 2-point game. The big basket there for the Saints. Much needed. Into Eminer at the high post. Off to Ainsley Hall. 3 post in there. into Eminer. Kick it cross court. 3-point attempt is, a friendly roll that time for Caroline Martin. Saints go to Norrico on the left side. Major clears space. Inside, loses the dribble. Ball's loose on the court, but chases it down. Out to Abby Smith for three. Almost banked it home. Rebound to the Nighthawks. Storr's going to bring it front court in the final minute 30 of the third quarter. 51-46. Saints down 5 to the 5th-ranked team in the country. Martin a drive off the left side, and she'll score it. McCormick got caught up in a screen and left Caroline Martin essentially uncontested. Major back to McCormick. We get the screen from Norrica. Open from 17. It's perfect. Well done. Nighthawks elected to go underneath the screen. That left enough space for McCormick to knock down the jumper. Back to a 5-point game in the final minute.
That's 16 for Sherrill in this game today.
Coach Burson says just be patient. Hold the ball for a little bit. Shot clock to 10. Here's Martin on the drive. She stops. She pops. She's too strong. Rebound Saints. Here comes McCormick. She's going to race all the way off the right side for a floater. And unlucky, no good. Martin rebounds with 20 on the shot clock. 20 on the game clock. And the shot clock turned off. He'll slam on the brakes across the midcourt line.
Buffy Burson says one shot, and she wants to go low.
Out to Eminer at the top of the circle. Back to Martin. It's got to be a travel. There was contact, but not enough to warrant a foul. As Caroline Martin went to the floor, she skidded across the court, and they do call the traveling violation. 4.3 seconds for the Saints to get off a shot. Down 5. They'll go to McClendon. She'll take 2 dribbles to half court, and the clock never started. So it's down to 0.7, and it should be 4.3. Now they're going to put it to 2. That seems like a penalty. Saints had 4.3 seconds when the play started. They ran a play. The clock didn't start. The referee killed the play, made them restart from the same spot, but only gave them 2 seconds the second time. So. Still would have been a tough shot to make with 4.3, but I like my chances a lot better with 4.3 than I did with 2.0.
4.3, you can make a pass.
Yeah, and
with 2, you're looking to get that shot up pretty quick.
I'm not sure exactly how the rule book says that play should be adjudicated, but and not just because I'm broadcasting for Flagler College, I just don't think that's fair, whether it was Flagler or North Georgia.
That's a missed call. If
you stop us in the middle of our play and make us restart it, you ought to at least put the clock back to where it was. But nonetheless, it's a 5-point game, 53-48. North Georgia leads it by 5. The third quarter was the difference maker so far. North Georgia put up 23 points to the Saints 16. North Georgia 6 out of 10 in the third quarter, including a perfect 2 for 2 from 3. They had been 0 for 7 for the game, hadn't hit a three-pointer all game long. They hit 2, took 2, hit 2. They also made 9 out of 12 from the free throw line in the third quarter. And Saints were 6 for 18, so cooled off their shooting percentage and definitely cooled it off from the three-point area, going just 1 for 8. And so the deficit is 5. North Georgia 53, Flagler 48. Eminer leads the way with 18 points. Martin also has 14, and she leads North Georgia in rebounding. She has 14 points and 12 rebounds. For the Saints, McCormick's leading the way in points with 16. She also shares team-high honors in rebounds with 4. Abby Smith has 4 boards, so does Dane Bertolina. And McCormick has 3 steals to lead the team in that category as well. So it's a good one here in St. Augustine. The Saints are down 5 to start the fourth quarter. At the softball field, it's gotten much closer. It is 6-5. Embry-Riddle still leading it over the Saints. 6-5, top of the 7th. Embry-Riddle is batting. And in the baseball game, the Saints were up 4-1 last time we checked. Now they're down 7-4. 3 runs in the 5th for Alabama Huntsville and 3 more in the 7th. It is the bottom of the 7th. Saints trailing it 7-4 at the baseball field. That is the first game of a doubleheader. And of course, the debut weekend of new Saints baseball coach Greg Williams. Got a win last night in his debut and got 2 more chances today. North Georgia will get the basketball first to start the fourth quarter. They lead it by 5. And one of the referees talking to Coach Buffy Burson over there. Not sure what the discussion is all about, but they will chat and delay the start for a split second, and now we're ready to go. And there we go with the shot clock and the game clock issues again. Game clock went to 9:54, shot clock still on 30. And we're gonna switch spots. Have some staff. They're gonna switch places. .954 and 24. That makes sense. 6 seconds have come off each of the 2 clocks, if that's what they're gonna say.
We have a substitution at the 24-second at the shot clock. I'm going back to my NBA days. The shot clock run supervisor there.
Got some folks changing spots at the table. I don't know that 6 seconds ran off. 6 seconds at the start of the quarter is much different than a couple seconds at the end of the quarter, like we had at the end of the third. You know, sometimes you got a button that sticks over there, and you press it to start, and you press it again to stop. And if one of those doesn't read it, instead of stopping it, it starts it. And I don't know what the issue is, but the bottom line is we're going to try to get better over there.
Those are high-pressure jobs over there.
No doubt. So 2 seconds is what they're going to say. 9:58 and 28.
The person keeping the official book has got an eraser. If you write down the wrong player, well, you just erase it and put the score of the right player. The shot clock, everybody sees it.
Yeah. Here's Martin up high for the Nighthawks. Drives in against Jasmine Major, finds some space, and rattles it home. She's a tough player. Already a double-double at 14 and 12. And got a chance to add to her total right here.
Stepping to the foul line for the Nighthawks is number 24, Caroline Martin.
16 points now, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists.
That's the 3rd foul on Jessica Dowdy.
Rims out, no good. The Saints dodge a bullet on at least the free throw. Here's McCormick. Drive inside by McClendon, back out to Carly Grimm. 15-footers no good, knocked out of bounds by the Nighthawks. It'll go back to the Saints.
I said that foul was on Jessica Dowdy, wasn't it? It was on Jazz Miller, Major.
On number 1, not number 10. So
yeah.
10 will check in for 1.
Here she comes.
And Bertolina will check in for Destiny McClendon. They'll put Dowdy in the corner. Think about throwing it to her. Instead, they go to McCormick. She'll try to drive that left baseline. Gets cut off. And ball poked away, but poked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. Shot clock is starting to become a factor, but still 14 seconds, so no great rush. Just got to be cognizant of that clock. They put it to 20. I don't think it should reset here. The ball didn't hit. There wasn't a foul called. Oh, now they put it back to 14. Okay. McCormick's got it out high to Grimm. Now Dowdy right side. Shot clock down to 4. 3, 2, 1, and Saints lost track of it. I mentioned you gotta be cognizant of it, and they work in the perimeter. Abby Smith tried to put up a shot at the last second. I'm not sure if it got off in time or not, but it didn't matter because it didn't hit the rim. So ball will go to the Nighthawks here. North Georgia leads it by 7, 55-48 at the 9:04 mark. Eminer in the high post. Backdoor cut was open for a split second, couldn't find her. Here's Hall, and then they repost to Eminer again. She'll go up and under against Carly Grimm, and shots off the mark. No good, but they'll say Grimm blocked it, so it'll stay with the Nighthawks. Sub at the table.
It's good defense by Grimm. She guarded her all the way across the lane, got a clean block.
Get Trussell back in the game here. She'll catch and throw back door to Martin, and she'll finish it inside.
Caroline Martin.
Bertolina for Dowdy. Saints are down 9 right now. Need a basket. Jumper from 17. Too strong, no good. Grimm rebounds, puts it back up, also too strong. Back the other way. Nighthawks thought about a long triple. They'll go instead to Eminer at the high post. Hall on the drive, gets past Bertolina. Shot's too strong though, and she never reestablished position. That'll be the Saints basketball. Ainsley Hall was out of bounds, jumped back in to catch the basketball, but her feet were not on the ground yet, so she had not reestablished herself as part of the playing surface. Therefore, she's technically out of bounds, even though she landed in bounds. And the Saints catch a break there. Under 8 to play, down 9 points.
Shot selection is going to be really important on this trip. You get down a little bit and you start thinking you need to make something happen. And you need to trust your teammates and your system.
McClendon on the drive, can't find any space. To Bertolina, now Major. They switch the screen nicely. A step back jumper from 18 is too strong. Avery Jones rebounds for the Nighthawks and races the other way. Penetrates in, kicks it out. Very patient, deliberate style here for North Georgia. They've got the lead in the ball. Martin, post feed, Eminer. Turn around over Grimm, and man, that's a tough call there to call the foul on Carly Grimm. It's almost like she maintained that principle of verticality, just put her arms straight up, but she is whistled for the foul. That's her third, and it'll put Eminer back to the free throw line here for the Nighthawks. First free throw is good. Eminer's got 19. She's 5 out of 9 from the free throw line. Make it 6 out of 10. Yeah, the fouls right now are 20 to 12. Saints have been whistled for 20. I think this is the biggest deficit of 11 points. Yeah, this is 11-point lead for the Nighthawks, biggest of the game. Bertolina off the right side. The drive cross court. Trail it back up high here to McClendon. She'll drive in, get bumped, kick it over to Abby Smith. Three-pointer is good for Abby Smith.
And there's a three-pointer by Abby Smith.
She shot the ball very well today. Back to an 8-point game. Another drive from Martin, left it short that time. And pile up of players down there. It's like Lainey Norica might have gotten the worst of it. She ended up at the bottom. You had McClendon, you had Norica, and you had Eminer all in a pile down there.
Looked like one of those illegal blocks in the NFL. Everything was down in the knee area, which is scary to see.
Yeah, especially when somebody like Norica, who wears a knee brace because of a prior knee issue. Abby Smith now up to 12 points with that second three-pointer of the day for her. Eminer's got 20. Martin has 18 for the Nighthawks. Saints have 3 in double figures with McCormick with 16, Abby Smith with 12, and Jasmine Major with 10.
Let's have a round of applause for
They will help Lainey Norica up to her feet. And we'll see if she's going to be able to make it off under her own power or get a little assistance. And
she's walking gingerly.
Yep. Gingerly, but walking on her own. That's a good sign. We'll see what the Saints ended up with the basketball. I don't think there was a foul called on either team. They just whistled it dead because of the pile up and the injured player. So the Saints will get the basketball here. It'll be McClendon, Major, Abby Smith, Carly Grimm, and McCormick. Down 8 at the 6:20 mark. Here come the Saints. Major on the drive from right to left, cut off there. Back out to Abby Smith. Another 3 ball. That one's off the heel of the rim. No good. Rebound to the Nighthawks. High post Eminer. Back over to Martin. They'll set a screen for her. Saints will go under it. Martin goes in, kicks out. Repost inside to Eminer. And back inside, a little floater, no good. Rebound fought for and ends up in the hands of the Nighthawks, and we're going to get a foul underneath. They gave the foul to Sherelle McCormick. Non-shooting, it'll be Nighthawks ball underneath. And get an inbounds play for a leaner and a foul on Abby Smith. Free throw shooter is going to be Emily Trushell.
Abby Smith.
With 5:31 to play.
Emily Trushell to the foul line for the Nighthawks. She'll shoot 2.
First is good. 60-51 our score. 9-point lead for the Nighthawks with 5:31 to play. 2 free throws from Trushell will take us back to double figures. Martin will get a rest for Jalea Storr to get in there. Storr, the transfer from Georgia College. McClendon going to drive right side. Swing it back to Grimm. Now McCormick. She'll drive left side. Get stripped going up. It'll stay this way, though. Good defense there by the Nighthawks. That was Ainsley Hall, who slapped it out of her hands, out of bounds. .16 on the shot clock as Major triggers. Into Abby Smith, back over to McCormick. Sherelle will drive and kick. Right side 3 ball. Perfect for Jasmine Major. From 10 down to 7. The Saints dig in on defense. Hall at the point guard spot, guarded by Major. High post here to Eminer. Drop for Jones. Now Hall for three. Too strong, no good. Rebound picked up by the Saints and then fouled. McCormick got the rebound and then got fouled from behind. I think it's going to go on Trussell. And that'll take us to our under 5 media timeout. 4:44 to be exact, 61-57. Saints going to try to rally down 7 to North Georgia here. Under 5 minutes to go, 4:44 to be exact. We're back right after this on the Peach Belt Digital Network.
Customer-centric and solution-based metal supplier.
It's been a good game thus far, shaping up for a good finish here in St. Augustine. 61-57, 7-point game in favor of the number 5 ranked Nighthawks.
A Mo Smith team has never beat a Buffy Burson team. So I'm sure he is hoping in these next 5 minutes something good's going to happen.
And we got another shot clock issue. Stop play in midcourt. It did not reset after the Saints miss. The Saints shot was blocked, never hit the rim, rebounded by the Nighthawks, and shot clock never reset. So it was on 14. They noticed that. They'll put it to 27, and we'll get back to basketball. 61-54. You talked about it earlier, Ivan. It's shot selection. You know, Saints are down 7, but there's plenty of time. You don't need to rush. You need to get a good shot. Take it cross court here. Almost turned it over. They find Eminer. Go back in against Grimm. Left it short, but got called for a foul.
I'm sure Carly's feeling like, you know, I could use a little help down here.
Yeah, that's a tough assignment. She's a really good player. Kendall Eminer, and she's only a sophomore.
It's surprising they haven't double-teamed her down there.
Yeah, she's averaging 9 points a game. 4th highest on the, 5th highest. There's 4 players in double figures. She's the 5th best scorer, but today she has been lights out. 20 points on 7 of 11 shooting.
She'll shoot one more.
She makes the first,
She's
makes
used,
the second.
Yeah, she's used her height advantage very well today.
She's done a great job in there. 63-54, Saints down 9.
And Carly, you know, who had been out with an illness and is, you know, she's still trying to play herself back into shape too.
3-pointer by the Saints is up and good from Jasmine Major. From 9 down to 6. A lot of possessions left. Saints need to dig in on defense and try to get a stop.
Looks like they want to go inside.
They go to Eminer. In the high post, drop it off and set a screen. 17-footer is good. Tough shot there from Avery Jones. It's hard to defend that. Major, Abby Smith. There's another three. It's good. That's Abby's third of the game, and it's back to a 5-point game. Saints are trading threes for twos right now, which is good. Critical going to need to get a 0, which is a stop at some point. 3 minutes to go. There's a lob. It's errant, and it's saved in by the Nighthawks, but saved to the Saints. There's a stop. Here come the Saints to the front court. Major for McCormick. Now Abby Smith. Poked away. Stolen by the Nighthawks. And late whistle and a foul called on Abby Smith.
Fouls on number 25, Abby Smith.
That looked like one of those plays where if the shot went in, they weren't going to call a foul.
Yep.
And they kind of wait to see if it goes in or not. It didn't go in. All right, we'll call the foul.
Yeah, the thing that makes it challenging is the referee who calls the foul is the trail official on the far side. He's about at midcourt. She, I should say, is about at midcourt. And the referee who is closest to the play didn't call the foul. I'm not saying it was the wrong call. It's just sometimes when it's a late whistle and it's called by someone who's a long way from the play, it just gives the team who is the foul called against even more reason to complain about it. Not saying it wasn't the right call. They are a lot closer to the game than we are. And so it'll put the Nighthawks on the free throw line here in a 5-point game. 2:34 to play, still a lot of time. Our free throw shooter, I believe it was Avery Jones, number 20. Yeah, it was Avery Jones. So she's a pretty good free throw shooter at 79%. Saints now have 4 fouls on Carly Grimm and 4 fouls on Abby Smith. Those are essentially the two bigs, the only two bigs that we have. The injury to Lainey Norica is, I'm not saying she's out, but she still looks like when she stood up from that timeout to join the huddle, still gingerly, would be the right word.
I doubt we'll see her again today.
Yeah, I don't think we will. So it's going to be Smith and Grimm down the stretch. And they're going to have to play with 4 fouls with 2:34 to go. And you know what's going to happen is North Georgia, Buffy Burson's a smart coach. She's won over 600 games for a reason. She's going to throw the ball inside to Eminer and try to get a 5th foul on one or both of those players.
Avery Jones.
Again, our free throw shooter is Jones, the freshman out of Dahlonega, Georgia.
She'll shoot 2.
11.6 points per game as a freshman. It's pretty good. And first free throw is pretty good as well, right through. Second one coming. It's a big one there, makes it a 7-point game. 67-60 with 2:30 to play. Grimm, McCormick, floater, Thought she was going to get a chance for a basket and one. Instead, she'll get 2 free throws. Sherrill's got 16 on the day. She and Jasmine Major and Abby Smith have done most of the scoring. 47 of our 60 have come from those 3 players. First free throw is good. Sherrill's a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line today. One more coming. And she gets them both. So a 5-point deficit. Just under 2.5 minutes, 2:25 to be exact. Saints don't have any fouls to give. They're going to have to play straight defense here. Martin against Jasmine Major out between the circles. They'll clear out for her. Here comes the high screen from Eminer. And she'll finish it off inside. Just a little rub is all she needed to get enough space from Jasmine Major. McCormick for Grimm. That's it poked away, but able to chase down the loose ball. Off to Jasmine Major. Step back, 3 ball. Off the mark. Grimm rebounds it. Couldn't finish, but got fouled. Again, that would have been a huge opportunity for a 3-point play. That ball just couldn't get over the rim, but she will get 2 free throws.
Fouls on number 24, Caroline Martin.
Carly hasn't taken a free throw yet today.
Is number 21, Carly Grimm. She'll shoot 2.
14 of 20 on the season. First is good. One more coming. And she got them both.
And the clock's starting to be a factor.
Yeah, we're under 2 minutes, 1:40, and the Saints are down 5. Need to get a stop here. Ball in the hands of Caroline Martin, and she's a good one. Out to Trussell. Post feed inside, deflected and stolen away by the Saints. Left side, McCormick. She's going to drive in, float it, and can't finish but a foul. 2 shots coming from McClendon. I think I said McCormick. McCormick's who got the deflection. McClendon who's got the free throws. Chance to make it a 1-possession game at the 1:08 mark.
Destiny McClendon. She'll shoot 2.
McClendon has taken 1 free throw today, 1 for 1. First is good.
Flagler won't need to foul yet on defense, but they do need to play it tight, hold them to 1 shot, or get a steal.
McClendon makes them both, and it's a 1-possession game, 69-66. Into Martin, guarded tightly by Major. Saints thought about trapping, and they will back off. Martin's got some space, down the paint. Throws it down low to Eminer. Blocked inside and rebounded by the Saints. Carly Grimm got the block. Here comes the Saints offense. Floater on the way. Oh, it rims out, but Grimm's got the rebound, and then she's fouled. That is 5 fouls, so I think Carly Grimm's going to get 2 free throws. By my tally, that's the 5th. Yeah, so Carly Grimm will have 2 shots to make it a 1-point game. 69-66, pending the free throws. Rattles it in there. Both teams in the double bonus. Possession arrow favors the Saints. 69-67 is our score. Free throws no good, and a timeout taken by North Georgia.
Timeout on the court, Blackhawks.
So it's a 2-point game, 69-67, with 47.3 to play. North Georgia can advance the basketball on the timeout there. So they'll likely do that and inbound the ball out here near midcourt. Again, both teams are in the double bonus. Saints do not have to foul. It's a 2-point game. But as you said, Ivan, they got to play good defense here. Shot clock and game clock are 17 seconds apart. 47.3 and 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Considering how well North Georgia has shot free throws today, you definitely don't want to foul them.
Yeah, they're 25 out of 33, 76%, which is right at their season average. Eminer is 8 for 12. She comes in at 52%, and she's shooting 67.
I double team the low post when it goes in there.
Abby Smith will guard the inbounds play. They go in here to Hall. Looking for Martin. Can't find her yet. Now they do. Shot clock's on 20. Martin against Major. Jasmine's trying to force her to go left. Shot clock to 12. Saints down 2.
They've gone flat along the baseline. Here it comes. Here comes the high
Here comes
screen.
the play with 7 on the shot clock. Runner, short, no good. Rebound Saints. Pushing the other way. Major gets it knocked away. Then knocks it back. Grimm's got it across the timeline, and we got a foul or a timeout call?
Foul.
Foul called against the Nighthawks. They call it on Martin. She was playing tight defense. I thought Coach Moe might take a timeout to settle his team down, but instead the foul was called on Caroline Martin, and now Carly Grimm has a chance to tie the game if she can make both free throws. She was here moments ago and went 1 for 2.
And Coach Person for North Georgia is drawing up the play. I'm sure there's going to be a timeout after the free throws.
First free throw is good. 69-68 with 13.2 to go. She makes them both. They're all tied up. No timeout yet, and there it is.
You were in excitement. You're in the right place.
All right.
Regardless of what happens in the next 13 seconds, a great showing by Flagler College.
Yeah, just a great college basketball game. 69-69. 13.2 seconds to play. North Georgia has the basketball. I'm assuming they asked to advance the basketball. So they will inbound just across the midcourt line, right in front of their bench, basically. They will have 13.2 seconds to score. The Saints will have to defend. Both teams are in the double bonus.
This is a team Flagler lost to by 24 about 3 weeks ago.
It's the fifth-ranked team in the country. They're 17-1 on the year, and Saints are trying to pull off a big upset. Right in front of their bench, they will trigger. Abby Smith will guard the inbounds play. Shot clocks or game clocks working. Down to 10.
Double stack on
now
the low
9,
blocks.
8, 7, 6. Throw it inside for a catch and a blocked shot. Out of bounds. They'll say last touch by the Nighthawks.
Timeout on the court, Saints.
The shot was blocked up high, and it was knocked down, I think, off of the knee of the player that attempted the shot. It was Emily Trushell. Trushell got free, but somebody came in from behind and got a piece of the ball from behind, got it cleanly, and not only blocked it, but blocked it down with enough force to push it off the knee of Trushell. So it'll go to the Saints, and again with the women's basketball opportunity to advance the ball on a timeout. The Saints only have 2.4 seconds, but they don't have to go 94 feet any longer. They only have to get the ball inbounds and get a little bit closer, and they can get a reasonable shot. 2.4 seconds is plenty of time for a good shot. And if there's a foul, they automatically get 2 free throws, even if they're not in the act of shooting.
And Flagler actually had a situation earlier in this game where there was 2 seconds left in the quarter.
They had the ball in the backcourt on that one, though. So let's take the advantage of they were about 60 feet from the basket on that first one. Now this time they're going to be about 47, about 30.
Now if you're Flagler, who do you want to take the shot?
I'd probably go for one of the M&M players, McClendon or McCormick. And today, Sherrill has definitely had the better day offensively. I think they have the capability of creating their own shot. They also have a capability of driving left or right and then stopping and stepping back. McCormick's got 18 to lead the Saints today on 6 of 12 shooting. She is also a three-point threat of 2 of 3.
And there's a third M in there too, Major.
Jasmine Major's got 16 as well. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Curl her off a low post screen.
Could be number 1, could be number 2, could be number 3.
You got three strong options on this. That's going to be tough for North Georgia to guard.
Yeah. Abby Smith has got 3 3-pointers on the day, but she is more of a spot-up shooter, not somebody that really creates her own shot. Carly Grimm is not a 3-point shooter. She has not made one all season long. And quite honestly, throwing the lob to your big might be a good play, but not today against Eminer.
Yeah.
She is an outstanding defensive and offensive player. So the lob to Grimm would not be the not be the way to diagram it up.
McCormick's been very successful driving the ball. She's very smooth, getting into the paint.
Referees are over there. There is instant replay. So they are looking at the monitor right now, making sure two things. Number one, the ball actually went off the leg of the player from North Georgia. And number two, is the clock correct? Trussell was the player that shot the basketball. 2.4 is still what the clock says. And the ball is still in the hands of the Saints, so the instant replay did not change anything. It'll be McCormick to trigger, guarded by Trussell. They look, pop it out to Major. No, go to Grimm, go back over, and it's deflected away. Ball loose on the floor, and no shot will be attempted. They tried to go into Grimm and have her hand it back to McCormick, but the ball was deflected, well defended by North Georgia. A little bit of a scrum going for the loose ball, and with only 2.4 seconds, nobody ended up corralling the ball in time to do anything for either club, and we will get 5 minutes of bonus basketball here in St. Augustine. This brief stoppage here will give us a chance to check on those other games that are going on. At the baseball field, it is all tied up, 7 apiece now. Saints were down 7-5, actually 7-4 at one point. Got one in the 7th to make it 7-5, got 2 in the 8th to make it 7-7, and it's the top of the 9th. Alabama Huntsville is batting, and they just took the lead on a bases loaded hit by pitch. So now 8-7 Alabama Huntsville with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Saints are the home team, so they'll have a chance to rally in the bottom of the 9th. And out at the softball field, that game has gone final. The first game of the doubleheader goes to Embry-Riddle. Embry-Riddle 6, Flagler 5. Eagles led 6-1 at one point. Saints made it 6-3, then made it 6-5, but couldn't score in the 7th. And Embry-Riddle wins the first game of the doubleheader out at the softball field between the Saints and the Eagles. Back to the basketball court. We're tied at 69, and we're ready for 5 minutes of bonus basketball here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to overtime.
Grimm and Eminer will jump center. And both teams put the same 5 players that ended the game on the court. 4 fouls on Grimm and Abby Smith. 4 fouls on Trussell. And also 4 on Caroline Martin for the Nighthawks. Here's a drive off the right side, and basket is good. Trussell got some space on Abby Smith and able to score it. Grimm right-hand side, skips it far side over to McClendon. She'll drive, got some space herself. Her runner's no good, gets her own rebound though. Kicks it out, 3 ball on the way. Oh, in and out for the Saints. That would have been big for McCormick. Here comes Martin. Somebody's got to stop the ball. She'll skip it far side. They look in for Eminer. Works against Grimm, who plays with 4 personals. Jumper in the paint is good for North Georgia from Avery Jones. Here in the first 45 seconds, they put up 4 quickly. They lead at 73-69. Major drives in and gets bumped.
And then defensively for Flagler, there's a big difference for the bigs that have 4 fouls. When you look at the clock and there's a minute and a half left, and when you look up there and there's 5 minutes left.
Fouls on number 13.
Foul goes on Ainsley Hall.
Jasmine Major to the foul
Her
line
third
for the
personal.
Saints.
Jasmine Major will be our free throw shooter. Trying to cut this lead in half with a couple of free throws here. First is good. Jazz 73% on the year, 35 out of 48. She's got them both. 73-71, 4:07 to play here in overtime. Again, 30 minutes after this game wraps up, we'll have the men's game between the Saints and the Nighthawks. That game was scheduled for 3:30. Obviously, it's 3:40 right now, so that one's going to be a little late if you're looking for the men's basketball game. Here's Eminer on the baseline against Grimm, and we got a foul away from the ball. I think it's on the Saints on number 2, Destiny McClendon. She was working hard defensively against Ainsley Hall.
Fouls on Destiny McClendon.
She's called for the foul. Dane Bertolina will check in for the Saints, and Hall will go to the free throw line. 88% on the season. First one is good, one more coming. 1 for 2. The Saints feel like when the 88% free throw shooter, if she goes 1 for 2, you've won the battle. Down 3 with the ball. Here's Major on a drive, looking for a helper, finds Grimm. She'll shoot the 15-footer. Off the heel, no good, rebound. Loose comes to Abby Smith. She'll back it off. And gonna get a moving screen called, I think, on Carly Grimm. Number 1, it's a turnover, and we lose the basketball. Number 2, maybe more importantly, we lose our best inside player to her 5th personal foul. Carly Grimm will foul out.
Carly Grimm.
5 fouls on referees not paying attention. Everybody at the scorer's table had 5 fingers in the air.
We all knew.
And
Carly knew.
Carly is standing at the scorer's table waiting to check out. And the referee's inbounded the basketball for a brief second. Marley Smith will get in there. Marley 9 points and 5 rebounds. Quite a bit of playing time typically, but today hasn't been much of a factor. She's going to need to step up big here in the overtime session. Here's Martin down the paint. Kicks far side. Lob inside to Eminer. Over Abby Smith, and she scores it. Abby's playing with 4 fouls as well. It's a 5-point lead for North Georgia. Abby Smith going to drive inside, get bumped, but she kicks over to McCormick. McCormick for Bertolina. Back to Jasmine Major. She'll drive left side, cut off there, good defense. She'll shoot it over top of the defender. No good, but a ball's knocked out of bounds by North Georgia. It'll stay with the Saints. 2:42 on the game clock, almost midway through the overtime session. Saints down 5. Need a basket here in a big way, make it back to a 1-possession game. Here's Bertolina. Back over to McCormick. Wraps it back around for Marley Smith. Smith almost turned it over. And Coach Mo take a timeout? Yes, he did. Marley had to chase it out not only toward the midcourt line, but toward the sideline. She was able to save herself inbounds, and then Coach Mo took the timeout. 9 on the shot clock, so enough time for a reasonable shot, but the Saints are going to have to be, I won't say in a hurry because that sounds bad, but they're going to have to move with pace and have a good, well-planned play here coming out of the timeout. Down 5, which is big, and only 9 on the shot clock, which is also big. Bertolina's going to trigger. Who's going to flash to her? And it's picked off, stolen away by Caroline Martin. She knew what was coming.
Layup is good by Caroline Martin.
Telegraphed the pass. Martin picked it, not for the pick 6. It's a 7-point game here, 78-71. She got the steal and the run out, uncontested layup. Smith over here to McCormick. Sorrell's going to drive right side. Shoot a turnaround. Off the mark, no good. Rebound, stick back though, is good for Jasmine Major. And another timeout taken by Coach Mo Smith. Boy, I tell you what, that pick 6 for Caroline Martin was big. Really changed the momentum here in the Saints Gymnasium. And instead of being able to potentially cut it to a one-possession game, Saints are down 5, and it's North Georgia ball with 2:01 to play. A lot of time left. It's going to be an uphill battle here for the Saints. Grimm is fouled out, and Abby Smith plays with 4 personals. It's a hard enough assignment to guard Eminer, even if you don't have 4 fouls.
Flagler's going to pick up full, try to press the ball a little bit. I would expect North Georgia to be very patient offensively.
Yeah, they got really good guard play.
You're up 5 with the ball.
That's been their strong suit all day and all year, and probably every year for Coach Burson.
She's in her 30th year at North Georgia.
Closing in on 700 wins. Well over 600.
Been to the national tournament 15 times. That's both NAIA and NCAA.
There's a lob to Eminer, and she'll finish. They lull you to sleep on the perimeter. 4 out and 1 in, just a little ball handling back and forth, 3-man weave, really a 4-man weave, and then throw it inside at the last minute to an open big who's really, really talented, who's able to finish inside. Well, foul at the other end here against the Nighthawks.
They'll let the shot clock get low, then they'll throw it down to the block.
Yep, that was it.
Get a very high percentage shot.
I think it was about 7 or 8 on the shot clock when they threw the entry pass. So you use at least 20 seconds, if not close to 25, and get 2 points. So Major's going to go to the free throw line to shoot here. Couldn't get the friendly roll on that one. She does make the second, makes it a 6-point game, so it's a 2-possession game with 1:25 to play.
It's a hard trap.
Saints are going to try to trap, but the guard play is just so good, and there's so many different options. Yeah. They're going to try to dig in on defense here and not foul. A lot of time left if you can get a stop and a score. Before you worry about the score, you got to get the stop. Here's Martin off a screen from Trussell. Now they look inside. There's Eminer. Spins to her left this time and scores again.
Drop step with the left hand.
Yep.
Nice play.
With 3 on the shot clock. It's about as good as you can get. Here's Major, 4-3 herself, no good. Abby Smith had the rebound. Got tied up. Possession arrow stays with the Saints, so we'll keep the basketball. The Saints are going to probably need to get a 3-pointer at some point here. Down 8 with under a minute.
So Flagler lost by a lot the first time these two teams played. Lost by 24. Today it goes into overtime. If you're Flagler, do you want to see them in the conference tournament?
They say it's tough to beat a team 3 times, right?
And you got significantly better from the first game to the second.
Yeah. There's Martin near side, working the clock down.
If the tournament's at their gym, I'm going to say no.
And there's a reach-in foul on the Saints.
Neutral court. Neutral court. Bring them on.
Yeah, this is a very, very good basketball team here from North Georgia.
Falls on number 0, Aspen Weeks. Caroline Martin.
Martin's going to be our free throw shooter. She's had a good day today. She's been quiet recently. She's got 22 points. Make it 23 and 13 rebounds and 4 steals. 83-74. 22 seconds to go. Misses the second. Saints rebound it. And Coach Mo took a timeout. Doesn't want to waste any time bringing the ball up court. So he'll burn the timeout on the rebound. And now you can advance the ball and save a few precious seconds. It's going to take a miracle at this point. Down 9 with 21 seconds. But there is no quit in this team right here. So Saints are going to keep fighting. Try to free somebody up here for a 3-pointer. Get this back to a 2-possession game if they can score a triple this time down the court. 4 of the 5 starters for North Georgia have scored in double figures. The vast majority of their scoring, and when I say that, I mean 81 of their 83 points, have come from the starting 5. Storr has 2.
Wow.
Everybody else has got all the points, and they played the most of the minutes. Hall's played 43, Jones has played 39, Trussell's played 35, Eminer's played 40, and Martin's played 44 minutes. And there's a deflection and a steal, and that'll do it. Saints needed a 3, instead they got a steal, and they'll get a couple free throws here. Just a long cross-court pass, and it just took too long to get there. Nighthawks pick it off, and Hall will have a chance for 2 free throws here to extend the lead to double figures.
And people will pick up the newspaper tomorrow and look and say, oh, Flagler lost by 10 up. But they don't realize that they were 2 seconds away from a huge upset.
Yep. It was a heck of a basketball game. That final possession for the Saints on defense was amazing. In a tie game to get a block shot and knock it out of bounds off of one of the Nighthawks. Instead, they're going to be down 11 here in the final 10 seconds of overtime. Jasmine Major for a runner, a little too strong. And
that's going to do it, ladies and
Saints are not going to foul here. And this one will go final 85-74. And just like you said, Ivan, this game was much closer than the score indicates. It was a heck of a battle here today in St. Augustine. Tip of your cap to Coach Burson and the Nighthawks. They win it, but also a lot of respect here for Coach Mo and the Flagler College Saints. It was one heck of a battle, and the Saints put up a great fight here. They ultimately fall in the overtime session. 85-74 our final. Again, the leading scorer for North Georgia, Eminer with 28. Martin finished with 23 and 13 rebounds. Trussell had 12, Jones had 12, Hall had 8, and Storr had 2. For the Saints, McCormick finished with 18. Abby Smith had 15, but Jasmine Major was the leader today. She finished with 21. Dowdy had 2, Grimm had 9, McClendon had 8, and Laney Norica had 1. And if you want to look at the overtime stats, North Georgia goes a perfect 6 out of 6 in the overtime session, while the Saints went 1 for 9. And that's how you take an overtime game and make it an 11-point deficit, unfortunately, for Flagler. Didn't shoot the ball real well in the overtime session. And credit to North Georgia. They played great defense. That's why we didn't shoot the ball well. North Georgia was smart. They were efficient. They had some really high percentage looks in the overtime session, and they went a perfect 6 out of 6. So the Saints fall. They go to 8-10 on the year and 4-5 in the Peach Belt. North Georgia, the 5th-ranked team in the country, goes to 18-1 overall and 8-1 now in the Peach Belt Conference. So, Coach, final comments for you?
It was really well-played basketball game, both sides. Flagler should be very proud of their effort. Players stepped up, defended, shot the ball, rebounded well. And North Georgia is just, they showed why they're 18-1.
Yeah. They know how to win.
That's
when
it.
The game, I'm not saying that Flagler doesn't. North Georgia had no fear, no hesitancy, and great confidence down the stretch.
And with that number of wins, you have a great.
That's how you're 18-1. You know how to win.
You trust your teammates, and you've been there before. You've got experience doing this.
A lot of weapons. All 5 starters had 83 of their 85 points, and 4 of the 5 were in double figures. And when you can trust on any of the 5 players on the court to handle the basketball late in the game, it's when you got a lot of chances to win close games, and they do just that today. So we'll take a break for about 20 minutes or so. We'll be back here in just a little while with the same 2 teams, or same 2 schools, I guess we should say. The Nighthawk men and the Saints men will lace them up here in St. Augustine. We're about 20 minutes away from the start of the men's game here in this Peach Belt doubleheader. So we'll see you back here in just a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you for the men in about 20 minutes.